Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chats for You. Please welcome to the stage your host. Put your hands together. It's James Walker.
Hello there, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out to this. It's very nice of you. I've assumed that you know who I am there. You might not have no idea who I am. Just come see the guests, which is fair play. Fair play to you guys. So yeah, just basically, this is Chats for You. So it's a podcast. Anyone aware of podcasts? Yeah. Who's listened to a podcast? Hands up. Yeah. Oh, all of you guys. What podcast do you listen to? All of them? That is a lot. Literally all of them. How many do you think that is? I'm thinking about that now. You put me off. Trying to host a show here. Getting that question off my head. Oh my god. So yeah, basically.
You're doing really well.
Thank you very much. That's very kind. Can I get that from everyone, please? Can you tell me I'm doing well?
You're doing well.
Yeah, thank you. We'll just go around everyone later on because that'll be too time consuming. But yeah, so this is a chance for you. And yeah, so basically, who has heard the podcast before? Can I find that out? Some of you heard the podcast before. Very nice. Who is just here for the guests? Who's here to see some guests action? Who? Yeah, that's very nice. There's some light woos there and some no hands up. That's weird. But yeah, so you've heard podcasts before, just establishing that. And firstly, I'd like to say that my friend said, I was all excited that I got clipboard because I've been real serious about this. He says I was like the Dennis Norden of the Snapchat generation, which is very, very fair. Yeah, so if you're thinking kind of about a live podcast, if you're not too sure about doing a live podcast, like if you're not sure how you're going to be feeling, just imagine, you can close your eyes at any point and just imagine it's an actual podcast being played to a room of people. It's very tricky to do comedy in this room because this is where I work as a wizard. So this genuine room outside of the Fringe is like a Harry Potter inspired escape game where I am dressed in a cloak, we're having a staff and giving clues to teams. So it's very odd to be trying to make people laugh in here. But yeah, basically, so if at any point I'm kind of going, oh, look beneath the thing, that's because I'm still in that mode. I'm not clocked out of it, I'm still at work. But yeah, most shows you'll see at the Fringe, they kind of had a chance to preview their shows and stuff like that. With a chat show, you can't really do that. It was mainly me just asking questions to silence. How did you get into comedy? Oh, it didn't go down well, that one. You really need the guest I've found. You need the guest as well. It can't just be you. But yeah, other live podcasts you've seen might be done by like really professional comedians who know what they're doing and stuff. I have had max stage time 15 minutes. I'm doing an hour 15, so we're in for a ride here, guys. With those types of shows, there's no danger anyway. At any point, I could forget all questions. And you're like, oh my god, he's not remembered a single question in the world. That might happen. But yeah, so what I was going to say. Also, if you didn't know, I'm Edinburgh's nicest boy. Let's get that out of the way. I'm like the nicest in town if you've never met me before. Genuinely, this is ridiculous. If you Google Edinburgh's nicest boy, I am the first result. So true, you can do it afterwards. It's very true. But yeah, so how this is going to run is we're going to have some chats with my guest Adam Kay, who does a book called This Is Going to Hurt. He's a lovely, lovely man. I heard his laugh at the back there. Real nice to hear that. And also my friend Amy Matthews is going to be doing a set as well, and then Ed Gamble will be the guest at the end. But you know, like how podcasts, there's usually the bit you skip at the start where like the host is chatting and you want to get straight to the interview. You guys are going to have to suffer that, I'm afraid. Unless you leave, but please don't do that. That's all I have. Cool. That got a bit sad. I didn't mean it to get sad. It was a joke. So I don't want to brag, but I'm friends with this guy on Facebook. It's cool. No, but I see his posts. He's got a different name than normal because he's all popular now.
I'm not on Facebook yet.
Oh, who's that?
I don't know. Absolutely no idea.
Who's that guy? I don't know who that guy is. So yeah, I recently posted on my Facebook, very hard to get people to believe you had a stressful day when you're basically being a wizard for your job. On which you commented, oh, tell me about it. Now, were you trying to say that being a junior doctor was somehow trickier than being a wizard? Or have I completely misread it and were you just revealing you're a wizard?
I was just reading on Wizard.
That's cool. What do you like to get up to in your wizarding days?
Oh no, okay.
How good you
Are we allowed to reverse down this cul-de-sac or do I have to plough into the building at the end of the road?
That's fine, go up to that.
Yeah, fine, kick it.
But yeah, so also recently, well, quite a while ago, you've had a book come out, a very, very popular book. This is the book here. I'll show it up like I'm Graham Norton. I'm Graham Norton. There we go. But yeah, so since the last time I spoke to you on the podcast, you have released a book. How mad was it for you to like hold the first copy in your hand? Because I imagine that's quite a mad thing.
That was quite a mad thing. Yes. It spent a very long time being a Word document, so it was quite exciting when it became when we actually hacked up some trees and did that.
What was the setup when you first read it? Was it come through the post? Was it quite boring?
Yeah, it was a big
Or
disappointment.
was like loads of chanting and like publishers surrounding you?
No, it was. I don't know if you know how the post works.
I don't.
It's very, but it's generally done by a local employee of Royal Mail rather than the sort of direct arrangement with the person who sends it.
Right.
So it's arrived and
I've got a very nice postman.
oh, do you?
Comes, yeah, he does everything for me.
I mean my postman a lot because I live in an old house and compared to like other houses, not compared to like people and dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
But and then the letterbox, presumably from an age where people wrote smaller. I don't know. It's very narrow. So anything other than like the sort of standard bank statement size thin envelope, the postman has to knock on the door. But luckily I don't have a job, so I'm always there to accept larger letters.
And also, so like I was at the book launch of this book. I was in last Fringe. It came along to the very first.
The first time it was available for purchase.
How much?
Did you buy one?
I did buy one.
Oh,
yeah.
thanks.
You're very welcome. How much of its success do you think is down to me being there when it was launched?
What would you like me to say?
A lot.
A lot, James.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you very much. And was there like because obviously the book has went very popular. It's been top of like the best.
The book has went very popular.
I'm very nervous.
I mean, you could have just said it was a Scottish phraseology.
Could have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so was there a particular point when you realised how big the book had become?
Yeah, when like they sent me the sales figures.
But like, is there a certain moment where like someone you really admire tweeted about it, or like just a
Just for clarity, do you want me to say that you tweeted about it? Or do you want me to be like...
I've not got my pen, that's a good idea.
Oh, you haven't tweeted about it? Oh, great. I think it started to have a slight life of its own before it actually came out. Because you print up, the publishers print up proofs, sort of roughly bound versions of the book, and you send it out to people who you think might lend an endorsement to it.
Yeah.
And it did very well with that, and so some exciting people were sort of saying they liked it, and so from that point, the publishers. I think for a publisher, you're publishing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books a year, and you can only sort of put your efforts behind maybe half a dozen. If you're going to Waterstones and saying you can't say you need to buy these 300 books and put them all in the window. You can only sort of plug a few. And as soon as some nice famous people were saying this is a good book, then the publishers got further behind it and really invested. And from that point.
Excellent. So
that's a sort of weirdly sort of honest answer.
That's very good.
Okay, thanks.
As a podcast, we can be honest.
Oh.
We can be really. Oh, that was really. I like that. Oh. Yeah, we so
okay.
honest.
Well, I really need a poo.
Oh wow. Okay. We can also be too honest.
Okay,
but yeah, also so you ended up meeting Jeremy Hunt off the back of the book. How was that?
Yeah. So the diaries I kept when I was a junior doctor.
Oh, I should have clarified what the book is.
I'm
not
sorry,
very normal of me.
Or maybe I'd mentioned that previously in a bit you cut where I said something about Paul Daniels that you later realised was unbroadcastable. I did these various book signing events. You sort of go around the country, and and at the end, a bookshop will sell copies, and I'll sign them. And a lot of people say, "Can I have a spare copy for a friend or whatever as a gift?" But dozens of people were saying, "Would you mind signing one to Jeremy Hunt?" So I was just like, "Yeah, no, of course." And then eventually a letter came through to me via the publishers basically saying, if you come and meet me, will people stop sending me copies of this fucking book? Paraphrasing slightly. And so I did go to meet him, and it was absolutely horrible. Really, real piece of work.
And there was also like, so I read the article you wrote about it, and there was the mention of like, it seemed like someone that he was with like pretended they got a text or something, so he had to be taken out.
Oh yeah, so basically he starts off being all sort of very oily and political, and as you'd expect, and I'm really sorry you think that, and sort of pretending to be like human. And then but I've been wanting to meet him for years and years and years, and so I was just kept asking all these questions that I wanted to ask about, what he's done to the NHS and what his motivation was, and then he snapped. He was like, "What is this? This is an interrogation. This is an interview. I thought I'd invite you in for a nice chat." I was like, "You didn't say it had to be a nice chat." And then it was this really horrible atmosphere in the room, really dark mist in the air, and the parliamentary aide who was with him was clearly just like, "Come on, I'm going to rescue him." And so someone came in the door and said, "Oh, Mr. Hunt, your next emergency meeting is just about to happen." And so I was sort of. That was the end of that, and because you don't like there being an atmosphere. I said to him, "I'm really sorry if I came across nicer on paper than I do in real life," and he said, "Oh no, I think you've been quite consistent." So, that was for the tape. I was attempting to demonstrate a mic drop, but then I was actually going to do one, but then I thought that's quite a dick move. I don't know how much these cost.
And to see how obviously when he wasn't having a nice time, someone rushed in and kind of ushered him out. That's not going to happen here, is it? Is someone going to run and go, "Adam, we need you right now. Come on out quick." No, okay.
I don't. But the honest answer is I've got no reception in here.
Yeah, it's annoying. That was a wizard. That was so annoying. So you're going to be making it into a TV series. How's that been going? I've started the process. It's quite early in its gestation. BBC Two have announced they want to make it into a show, and so it's not just going to be me. Hopefully there's a production company and some actors and things. So it does take a lot of the weight off. But sleepless nights.
Yeah. But it's relatively hard work. But then it is my day job is writing for television, so it should be fine. And also, when you have been a junior doctor, any other job you do, anything else at all you do, the stakes are quite a lot lower. So. No one's going to die. A bad day, we all have bad days. You're having a terrible day at work now, but ultimately, all that happens is people stop listening to your podcast. Those people throw stuff at us. I've been immunised against workplace stress, which is quite good. Also, it means that when I'm really tight against a deadline, and I've basically forgotten to do something, I have to email me saying, "When are we expecting that draft to come through?" I can just stay awake for 60 hours. Just bash through it.
So Adam, I was wondering this: if I were to become you, okay, steal your identity.
Oh yeah.
What would you say are the 3 things I'd have to get right? In other words, what makes Adam K Adam K?
So my PIN number. That's probably. I'm going to have to change that now, aren't I?
Yeah.
I literally said. Can you even change it? Do I need to? Do I need to change?
You have to check these people. I can edit it when we edit it, but these people in the room, they've heard it.
Yeah.
Please don't bug Adam.
Okay. I don't know what my defining characteristics are. I'm quite lazy.
Right, okay.
That's one of my things.
I can be lazy.
Yeah. A lot of pornography.
Oh, one with a tree? Our favourite.
I don't believe so. I mean, we potentially watch a different type of pornography.
That's fair.
Although we probably announced we watch a different type of pornography. I think.
Okay.
I think everyone's internet history.
Right.
private, isn't it? I guess. Yeah. I don't really know. It's very interesting and difficult question. Getting me to boil myself down to a few adjectives.
At least I'm not like put you on a spot on a stage when the lights on you. You've got a microphone.
No. That's fine. I don't know. I try and I know you've got a monopoly on being nice. That is. It's the thing I really miss about medicine is I used to come home at the end of the day 4 hours late and the dinner's in the cat and I'm sort of covered in blood and knackered and wound the window down just to stay awake, but you still got the feeling that you did a good thing, and now I don't have that in my life whatsoever because useful as the arts are, it's a lot of steps removed from actually I was an obstetrician. I worked on labour wards in the obstetrics and gynecology, brats and twats as it was known. So it's the most amazing thing you're saving lives, delivering babies, and so I miss that. So I try to in a pathetic, wanky way give back. For example, today I'm going on a podcast I've never heard of.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing that, by the way. Again, more honesty on the podcast. But yeah, so I was thinking about merchandise, Adam. I don't know, you've got the book out, obviously. I don't know if you've got much else I don't know if you've got any more merchandise. But
years ago, I started out as a musical comedian, and I had, in the very earliest days of YouTube, when I was still at university, I did a song about the London Underground, sort of sweary tirade about the tube. And then as a result of that, we released like a CD or two, and so I've got form with merchandise. I think at one point we might have even had a T-shirt, but so now it's just I've limited it to the country's best-selling book and a television show.
Good call. But I've got another idea for merchandise, and so if there were to be an Adam K action figure,
oh yes,
well, what would you want it to look to be like? What do you think you wear the most that could be on this action figure? And who would your arch nemesis be in this world that you could also buy a toy figurine of?
Oh, that's
This is your standard interview question.
Yeah. So, because I'm technically a writer, I think we're all technically a writer, aren't we? But I'm sort of, because that's what I declare my job to be. I'm mostly just at home in my dressing gown at all times, drunk. So I think it would just be dressing gown, glass of white wine. Ignore the time because it just.
But you can change the white wine in for like something else if you fancy another drink or a toy.
What, another glass of white wine?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I've got an actual nemesis.
Oh.
Well, I had them at school, but I'm sort of. I think I've accepted and built, and I've sort of. I mean, the position's vacant. You could say, I mean, you're nice, aren't you? That's your thing.
Yeah. If I take a turn.
So I'll go to you.
That's me. Yeah, go. But yeah, so I'm going to now move on to my trademark question, because I think most interviews need sort of like a trademark question. That's what all the kind of big parkets of that. They only had one question that was really good. This is my one. I've asked you before, it's what do you like? And you really don't like the question. You mentioned this before, you didn't enjoy the question. But I'll do the updated version, because it's the second time we're chatting.
Yeah.
What do you like? No. Last time you said restaurants. Does that still check out?
Yeah, and I really like restaurants. Mm-hmm. They're crucial.
Oh, I love them.
I'm married to a man, which means that neither of us have a girlfriend, and so as a result, we've got a lot of disposable income. And we don't have like responsibilities like kids and morals and things like that. So we go out and eat a lot. So that's our sort of. We live in London, which is the capital city of
loads
England.
Of restaurants.
Yeah, loads of restaurants. And in fact, last time when we sold our house, we'd done it up and we put in a kitchen because that's what people expect you to have. it would get picked up if you wanted to say. People would say there's that risk. We didn't use a huge amount. And then they come around and they take the photos. And the estate agent who was taking the photos or whatever it was opened the oven, and it still had the polystyrene blocks in it that it was delivered with. So so I do like restaurants.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add to that? Just another restaurants and
bars.
And bars. So restaurants and bars. There we go. But yeah, I've kind of lost track of time here, so I might have to wrap it up in just a second.
Oh no.
But what's this guy like? But yeah, so basically, is there anything you'd like to add or get off your chest at the end of this chat, or any maybe shows you'd like to recommend to the people that are here?
I mean, I would recommend my one, but it's sold out. And can I recommend books?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I recommend my book.
Had me again. I thought you'd. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You thought I changed personality?
I thought you maybe just actually recommend a book. I got tricked.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are other ones available.
So we've established loads of podcasts, loads of restaurants, loads of books. There must be. When's this going out? I mean, is this going out during the Edinburgh Festival? Maybe. I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know when it's going to go out.
So
let's say yes.
If it was yes, then I would recommend. Obviously, only white men. So John Luke Roberts, Sean McLaughlin, Matt Ewins, sort of Adam Hess, very good shows. Catherine Bohart was just saying before he's going to later today or later in the past, whenever this goes out. And I've not seen this show, but she was excellent last time I saw her, which was a few months ago. And Rose Matafeo show is also brilliant. So I mean that's my again honest answer about what is good that I've seen.
Well, we've been very honest up here, and I'd like to just be very honest again and thank my guest Adam Kay. Thank you very much. Adam Kay. Hang on back, Adam. There we go. Very important. So now we're going to hand over to my friend Amy Matthews, who's a very excellent stand-up comedian, and she'll be doing some stand-up for you right now. So here is Amy Matthews. Please welcome her to the stage.
Hi guys. Thank you. You just have to be patient through this bit, because I'm the sort of filling of the guys that have been on the telly. Either side of me, just gonna have to, I'm like that new feature on 4OD where you can't click out of the tab when the advert's on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start just with a polite request, if that's all right, that men stop going down on one knee when they propose, and I will explain why. Right, a man is on one knee 3 times in his life. Once is to propose, the other 2 times signals something absurd is about to happen. Right. Either they're curling in the Winter Olympics, or they're getting their photo taken with a big fish they've just caught. When the day eventually comes that I'm proposed to, don't want that magical moment being tainted by me having to go, well, this could go one of 3 ways. Imagine finding out your partner was into curling. Right, that's the zenith of human madness. But I don't even know how a sport like that came about. It's like someone kicked a dog bowl across a clean floor and went, oh, it's got mileage. Right. Let's up the stakes and do it on ice. It's not quite so bad if you're the bowling guy. If you're a sweepy ice person, I don't know how you get up in the morning when your objective of the day is to make ice more slippy. Insane. We've had fishing is as mad. We've just gotten used to it. Like imagine if football worked the same way as fishing. Players just dotted about in the grass, staring into the middle distance, hoping some entirely random factor of circumstance rolls the ball into the goal for them. Then when it eventually does, trotting over, getting your mate Keith to take a photo of you with it, before releasing said ball back into its natural habitat, having really disturbed its day. Now, it's the 2nd most popular sport in the UK, after football. Wouldn't it be a wonderful world if it got the same media attention? If after match of the day we had catch of the day. Just some poor guy sat on a riverbank going, hello. Welcome back to Catch of the Day. Yeah, you did hear that right. That is a Northern accent on the BBC. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking back at everything we've just seen, but in slow motion and with graphics on it. Because I'll level with you, we've got more budget than we know what to do with. Let's have a look at Tom from earlier. If his bait had landed 6.2 centimetres closer than it actually did, he might have caught the fish. That's all this is really, me imagining alternate scenarios with inevitably alternate outcomes and masquerading this obvious concept as insight. Now, I got waylaid. The point I was trying to make is when you guys get down on one knee, there's a 2 in 3 chance that you're about to reveal yourself as a maniac. Right? So I always cry when you eventually pop the question, we're just relieved. Right? There's only one man I want to propose to me. I've got a boyfriend and it's not him. It's my optician. I love him. I'm quite needy. It's got a lot to do with the fact that it would be his literal job to look into my eyes. But it's really hard to be attractive around an optician, right? You've got those ridiculous glasses on and you're getting 4-letter words wrong. It's not attractive. It's not attractive at all. And I'm always slightly sort of distracted when I'm in there because I've generated a theory that opticians are very considerate lovers. I can just imagine, like, Amy, how's this for you? And now? What about now? It would just be nice. It would be so nice. It's supposed to be the happiest day of your life the day you get married. So you have kids and that's the happiest day of your life. I'll level with you, I've already had the happiest day of my life. It was when I was 8. It's parachute day. You guys know parachute day. Some people get to their 40s and 50s, they've never had parachute day. So for their benefit, I'm just going to quickly explain, right? As far as you're concerned, you're getting ready for a normal lesson of PE. What you don't know, your teacher's forgotten the lesson plan. Now it is parachute day. And you trot into the sports hall already a bit off your nut on blue Smarties to find an enormous multicoloured parachute laid out on the floor and you have to stop. You go, guys, it's a parachute day. The elders told us this day would come. You don't even need to be told what to do, right? Because there's a clause in the British education system that means all 8-year-olds must know how to grab onto the side of a parachute. Just do that. Flap it about for 40 minutes. That's why millennials can't get jobs, right? It's ridiculous. Easily the happiest day of my life. It's been downhill since then. I'm 22 now, and I was going to sound technically an adult. I'm absolutely an adult, right? But it's a weird age. It's sort of like I've got a Right Move account, but I still crave mini milks. It's a weird headspace to be in, and I don't like it because all of my friends are doing proper grown-up stuff. Like my best friend's just moved in with a boyfriend, right? They're so unhappy. It's horrible. They're so unhappy. Like she cancelled Christmas this year. She was like, "Amy, we're not doing presents this year. We're not buying them. We're not giving them. We don't want them. We're just getting stuff for the house." Right, very nice. Her own boyfriend asked her for a hand drill for Christmas. Very festive, very magical. I'm here to tell you guys that something happens to a man chemically when he owns a hand drill. Because I returned to their flat in January, just one wall in their kitchen looks like a crumpet. It's just been going at it. And I don't want to be there in my life yet, right? I'm having a real nostalgia crisis. I just want it to be 2002, when the most disruptive force in my life was the band Busted. That's all I can ask for. What a gift they were, right? Everyone's mums united in confusion as to why we all fancied the one with the eyebrows. I don't know. Guitar riffs that sounded like someone just dropped a cutlery drawer. That was fine. 6-year-olds running around objectifying air hostesses. The good old days. Classic prophets of our generation. That generation being, of course, 90s, 2000s kids. This is. Have we got some in? I think we have. Yeah, there's a real sense of community among us. Because we have been dealt a shoddy socio-economic card. So we sort of band together. It's quite nice. It so happens that band is the string quartet on the Titanic. Sliding into the ocean, but we are still playing. I'm the first to admit, though, we're quite a self-righteous bunch. Right, we love a cause, we love a bit of moral high ground. This is the bit where I say I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, a bad one. I still eat fish, right? Which I felt so bad about after watching Blue Planet. We all saw Blue Planet. David Attenborough transformed what was effectively a screensaver into documentary gold, right? The man is a wizard. And there's my favourite scene of the whole thing. There's a little ladyfish. She's swimming around. She's so bored of all the manfish trying to have sex with her all the time. She just went off into a cave one day, turned into a manfish, and re-emerged. And all the other fish just went, oh, that's fair enough. That's when I realised fish have more progressive trans rights than humanity. So I'm going to eat them. I need to make sure they're being murdered responsibly. So to offset the guilt, I wanted to sign up one of these like ethical sourcing sites, right? They ask for your usual stuff, your name, your email address. Little red flag went up when they asked my hobbies and interests. Spoiler alert, plenty of fish is not for the ethical farming of cod. It's a dark corner of the internet full of very bad chat, and you mustn't go there. I was obsessed with Blue Planet. I got my friend to take me to an aquarium. It's not quite the same. Got my friend to take me to an aquarium. I loved it. Hey, we've got a Scottish-ish audience in. Who's been to Deep Sea World in Fife? Yes. I mean, that's a bit too enthusiastic for what is an underwhelming and underfunded institution. It's very sad. But it's the best bit about it is it's USPs. It's got the longest shark tunnel in Europe, and I was having me some of that. So it's so long, you don't even walk around it. You get on a moving floor, and then takes you round in a loop, right? A bit like baggage reclaim. You get round. I got halfway round, had a little anxiety attack, because a voice in my head decided to go, Amy, what if you're in a dystopian future where the opposite of yo sushi has happened? Then I calmed down because I was wearing green. I was like, they probably can't afford me. My friend was wearing yellow. I was like, you're £2.25, maybe you're in trouble. Imagine if that is our dystopian future, though. Well, like, not much has changed, but we all live underwater. Oh my God, Buxton, we're the prophets of our generation. Well, you guys have been patient. You've got the wonderful Ed Gamble coming up. A big round of applause as well for James Walker, quickly. Amy Matthews, if you fancy, give me a follow at Amy F. Matthews on Twitter. Have a lovely rest of your day and a lovely rest of your fringe. Thank you.
Amy Matthews, everyone. So now we're just going to get straight on to the next guest. So if Ed, if you'd like to make your way up here while the music plays. I didn't need to say that. Didn't need to say all that. Here he comes. Here he comes. Hello. We're going to gamble, everyone. Hello. Thank you very much for being here, Ed.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So yeah, you're here doing your show Blizzard.
Yes.
French. How's that been going? I heard there was a man dressed as an avocado the other day.
Correct. So you've answered the question, how's that been going? It has generally been going very nicely, but there was a stag do in last Saturday, and the stag was dressed as an avocado, which will really give you an insight into quite how middle class I am, and how middle class my audience are. That I rarely get stag do's, but when I do, they are dressed as brunch. Halloumi Hen Night in next week, I've heard. They were actually, for a stag do, fairly well behaved, because it makes the whole audience quite tense, I think.
Right,
the rest of the audience.
Completely,
You see a stag do, you're like, this is the fringe, it's not that sort of thing, please don't ruin our night out. But they were fairly well behaved. They went on and dressed them, because that's what they want. They obviously, you don't sit in the front row dressed as an avocado going, please don't talk to me. Like, he wanted to be talked to. So I was like, oh, you're dressed as an avocado? And all his mates went, yeah, it is. I was like, okay, get on with the show. And there was a bit of disturbance. I was like, what are you talking about, guys? And two of them at the end of the row had an actual avocado and went, oh, we've got to pass this down to him. That's what we've got to do with the avocado. I went, you fucking don't. You don't have to do any of that. We're at my show, so I will take that avocado. And I never thought I'd have to do this. I had to physically eject an avocado from the venue. So I opened the door. There's a bin right outside my venue, and I just threw the avocado in first shot, shut the door. Very proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like a trick shot greengrocer.
Good throw, yeah. Very nice. So yeah, your show at Blizzard. On the poster, there is a dog in the poster.
There is.
Show. Any more info about the dog?
Yeah, sure. It's a Samoyed. I don't know, how would you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Samoyed. Anyone know that? Big white fluffy thing.
There was only 2 dog owners. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Big white fluffy dog. Samoyed. Really gorgeous dog. It's called Bailey. It belongs not to a friend of my girlfriend. She dog sits it, so it's a friend of my girlfriend.
Looks deeper than I expected.
Yeah. So the dog's name is Bailey. Really gorgeous dog. We weren't technically allowed to do the photo shoot with it because the studio's in residential space and we were doing it first thing on a Sunday morning, and it barked so much that we had to take basically 3 photos and then remove the dog.
Yeah. And because the dog's in the poster, I wondered if maybe the dog would be coming as well. So
no, that is the main question I've received, James, on Twitter. As soon as I put that poster on, people going, "Is the dog going to be there?" I'm like, "Listen, if that's going to sway you, yes, the dog is there, and we will deal with your disappointment when we come to that."
But so I have wrote some questions for the dog that'll probably slip in at some point.
Cool. Well, I know the dog fairly well, so
yeah,
I can probably answer on the
that.
dog's behalf. Yeah.
But so also I was just wondering. So
that's a great interview technique, by the way. There's very few interviewers that would get to the next question by going, "Also, I was just wondering." Like normally the interview session, people take it for granted that you were wondering something. Because that's what a question is. But you know, hey, I was just actually whilst you're here.
Once we're very well lit on the stage. That's what I was wondering. If you could ask any animal a question, what would the animal be? What would you ask it?
Oh, good question.
I was wondering it.
What's your answer to that, first of all? I'm just going to flip that back on you right away.
Oh my god. I don't usually answer them, I deal with the cues.
Yeah.
So I'd probably would talk to a dog, talk to my dog and be like, "What's wrong?" when he's not feeling well.
Oh, that's very sweet. You talk to your dog,
Yeah, because you can't really tell what's wrong with the dog sometimes. What's wrong?
That's good. That's a nice idea. I'd probably talk to like a tortoise and ask it about the war. Although I don't think they saw a lot of action. In my head, the tortoise is like a young tortoise at the front, like in a trench with loads of humans, but it's probably just in a box for so long.
So this is the 3rd time that we've spoke for the podcast.
Yes.
And I usually go for like a die-hard naming scheme, so this is going to be Ed Gamble 3, Ed Gamble with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you'd like to wreak your vengeance on?
What, just in my whole
your
life?
Yeah.
A teacher at school called Mr. Carroll, who I don't think believed in me enough. Taught me GCSE Latin. Yeah, I did Latin. And he said I wasn't going to get a good grade. And then, you know what, I worked really hard and I did. And I went up to him and I was like, I thought it was one of those situations where he deliberately not believed in me, so I would work hard to get a good grade. But then when I spoke to him about it afterwards, I discovered he just genuinely didn't think I could get a good grade. There's no motivation. It wasn't like a motivational thing. He was just like, no, you just shit at Latin, man.
So I just came to see your show. I really enjoyed it.
Did you? You didn't message me afterwards, James?
Oh, so sorry.
Dear me. When did you see it?
So I saw it on the 2nd day you did it.
Oh no, well, that's probably why you didn't message me.
So last time you were on the podcast, you had just been on a tour around Edinburgh Dungeon alone. It was that day.
Yes, it was.
And then that has become a big part of your show.
That's the story in the show now, yeah.
So what have you been up to before the podcast today? Because I assume that'll be in the next show.
Yes, it's going to be a very boring show next year, unfortunately, because it will just be about how I went for a Nando's with some friends. Sort of less of a funny hook. So last year I went to the Edinburgh Dungeon alone. It was actually in March. I was on tour here. I was doing the stand. And I tried to fill the day by going to the Edinburgh Dungeon alone, and very quickly found out that is not a good place to go. I won't tell you any more because you shall have to come and see my humorous show. But no, the show about having Nando's with some pals will not particularly be fun.
There will be like a really emotional hook at the end, probably.
Yeah, and then it turns out that we're all extra hot in our own way. That's something you want at the Fringe, isn't it?
Yeah. Who's a good boy?
Say again?
Who's a good boy?
Who's a good boy? Not me. I'm too loud. I'm gonna have to be removed from the photography studio.
We first met because you came to do the escape game that I used to work at.
Yes.
So basically, I met you first when I locked you in a room, which is weird.
And that, by the way, that was it's the first time I did an escape room.
Yeah.
And now I've done a lot. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. And I really enjoyed you as an escape master because you spoke to us as James. And then you went, I'm just going to go into this room. And then you came back out as a character. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And by the way, James' idea of a character is a hat.
What a lovely hat, though.
Yeah, what a hat. It fooled me for upwards of 4 minutes.
Well, actually, I was thinking this. I think I very briefly met you a bit before because I went to see a show, Peacock and Gamble show, and a very much show. And then, even though you two were walking together, I still asked the question, are you Peacock and Gamble?
Right.
So I just wondered, did you have like was that a ridiculous question, or did you have people cosplaying as you guys?
No, not as far as I'm aware. There was no Peacock and Gamble cosplay. I don't think we ever particularly reached the level of Peacock and Gamble cosplay.
Right, yeah, it's not quite that far.
Not quite that far.
Yeah.
One day, maybe.
So can you think of like maybe a time you've been with like a person you admire or a celebrity and then asked them something very ridiculous?
Are you saying that you admired Peacock and Gamble, James?
I am saying that.
That's a very sweet thing to hear. Not what a mad pair of people to admire. I now, if I see someone that I respect from the world of entertainment, I will avoid meeting them.
Right.
Because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Like I was very lucky to I got to bring my favourite band onto the stage at an award ceremony a couple of years ago, and I was stood backstage with the entire band and just stood stock still and did not speak to anyone. And also they're like a sort of stoner rock band, so it's not like they're used to people fawning over them, and it would just be, my name is and I like your music, bye. So I just left it.
Yeah. Sorry, just arranging my notes here as you're finishing that.
You know what? If it's on a podcast, you should just not mention that.
Very true. Thank you for the assistance, and I'll not to do that next time. So let's chat a bit about Netflix. So you've been on Almost Royal, which is a show I very much enjoy.
Thank you.
Netflix. You can also be heard laughing during James Acaster's special.
Very much so. All 4 of them, if you please.
And you're also mentioned in Greg Davis's special.
I am.
What other Netflix series or show would you like a mention in, or for your laugh to appear in?
Well, there's so many, but I should briefly mention why I was talked about in Greg Davis.
I have got the Wikipedia entry. You know there's a Wikipedia entry about this.
What, based on this bit in
Greg
the
Davis.
Greg Davis show? Incredible.
So it says his downstairs maintenance was briefly mentioned in Greg Davis' Netflix special, You Magnificent Beast.
That's on my Wikipedia.
That's on your Wikipedia.
Absolutely incredible. So Greg's got it's a very very funny show which you should all go and watch if you've not seen it. I imagine most of you have seen it. He's got a bit about trimming the downstairs area, and then he only found out it was a thing when I told him that I maintained my pubic region. And he names me because I was supporting him on tour, and he names me on the show. But whilst he was touring that show, he was doing the big rooms in places like the huge theatres, and then I would often be there like 3 weeks later doing the studio rooms. So I'd always arrive, and like the technician would greet me, and then they say like, "Oh, we had Greg Davis here a few weeks ago," and then they just look at me, and I'd be like, "You're thinking about my pubes right now." I think I'd like to have my laugh on a show that it's completely inappropriate for, like Orange is the New Black or something. Like they're just trying to do a sort of a drama, and then you just hear "Ah!" in the background.
Yeah. Where's your ball?
I don't know. I'm trying to do a photo shoot.
I have hidden your ball about somewhere in this room. So we're able to get the lights up.
Where's my ball?
So there is a ball somewhere, so if you want to have me look around.
Where's my ball?
So lights up, thank you very much, Addy. So you maybe have me look around.
I mean, the audience feel free to look around. It was not in my contract that I have to get up during the interview. Right, okay. Now I need to find the ball. Where would you have hidden it?
Ed's trying to find the ball.
Ed's not trying to find the ball. Bailey's trying to find the ball. Want me to get in character? Absolutely. Where have you put my ball? James, if you put the ball down the front of your trousers, some sort of horrible Me Too.
Has anyone else spotted the ball anywhere?
Oh, right. How the fuck is a dog supposed to get that?
Let's have a look. Is that your ball there?
No, that's Adam's ball.
Oh, that's Adam's ball. That's not your ball.
That's very funny.
So because
Adam left without his ball.
because you're very into escape games, I've got a bit of a riddle for you here.
Right, go on. Yes.
So if you want to take this.
Yes. This isn't a spoiler for the.
No.
I was going to say Harry Potter one, but just magic one.
So if you wouldn't mind reading that into. There we go.
Dear Edward, for fear of them being stolen from our family collection, I had to pass all our balls on. God damn, I love this sort of stuff. I do not know where yours has ended up, but I know the person you need to speak to has a vast collection of records and doesn't like to live in the moment. You should say to the person in question, "Hey mate, where's my ball?" And they may have more information for you. Yours, the Gambles. So this is my family, is it?
Yeah,
What you're telling me is all my family are dead, and all they've left me is some balls. Fucking bleak, mate. I'm not very good at riddles. There's a vast collection of records and doesn't like to live in the moment. Is Mo Farah here?
So there's maybe two options for people this can be because of a thing that just happened, a new thing I was made aware of today.
A new thing you were made aware of today?
Yeah.
Then what's the chances of me solving this?
Well, it's out of two people.
It's out of 2 people.
So records, is anyone doing anything recording wise?
Oh, vast collection of records.
Doesn't like to live in the moment.
Vast collection of records. I see. So there's two cameramen. There's two cameramen. Oh, no. So there's a cameraman over there.
Yeah.
So I should say, hey mate, where's my ball?
He's going on a scroll for you.
And another scroll. I was really crossing my fingers if that was the ball then. Okay, here we go, another scroll. Edward, I have your ball. Right, so...
I didn't know how long that'd go on, so watch it end it quite quickly.
Right. Thank you. I mean, yes, I'm going to get the ball.
You can keep that.
I heard that, yeah. Well, actually, I've got some back problems, so I was thinking about buying a tennis ball to try and sort my glutes out, so genuinely will take that with me. Thank you.
So now we might move on to the trademark question that I heard before. So obviously I've asked you it twice already, so I've already asked what do you like and what do you like now.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go for what do you like this time.
What did I say last? What did I say the last 2 times?
So the first time you said doing absolutely nothing and running.
Classic me.
And then the second time escape rooms.
Escape rooms,
Yeah.
right.
So anything like to add to that now?
So they're all still on the list, right?
They're on the list.
Cool. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Yeah.
What's some of your favourite heavy metals?
This year, I
think
know
that's
that
the
the hot
sense.
the heavy metals, yeah. The hot records for me this year are a band called Boss Colloid, released an album called Melted on the Inch, which is an absolute stonker of an album.
Stonker.
There's a band called Secret Cutter, horrible name, horrible music. So get on board with that. Who else have we got? They're both on the same record label actually. If you just want to check out Holy Raw Records, they're doing a lot of good stuff. Another band called Gargantua on that on that record label. Yeah, no, that's about. That's all I'm going to say now.
So we're going to add to that, yeah. We'll add more to it next time.
Yeah. I also like tattoos.
Oh, nice.
And red wine.
Tattoos and red wine. Yes. Expanded the list quite a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. So now we're going to have, it's a tradition when you're on to have a listener question. But weirdly, like all the times in the past, the listener questions have been from James Acaster.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
But this time it's not from James, it's from a guy called Henry. So I'm going to play the listener question, Addy.
Can I just... Alright, okay, I've got my suspicions. Right, okay, go.
Hello, Ed. My name is Henry. I I can't be at the Fringe this year, but I was wondering, since you're such a big fan of the band Zeal and Ardour, to the point where you've listened to their album Stranger Fruit more than anyone else on Spotify and have been offered free tickets to see them or some shit, please sing some of your favourite Zeal and Ardour songs today. Have a good Fringe!
Wow, what a great question from Henry. Such a great question. I feel like that question should be nominated for the Comedy Award and then lose out.
There's not many places that get that kind of reaction. Like
it's a tricky one to sing. Zeal and Ardour, that's another very good album this year. It's called Strange Fruit. I'll do some very boring description of what they are. It's essentially started off as a one-man project. He was challenged to sort of do a mashup of loads of different genres, and one of the mashups he was challenged with was like Delta blues / like sort of old school like slave chanting with black metal, and he's black, by the way. It's not really bad. So he did this amazing fusion of the two things, which makes me not want to sing it because I would have to do a voice that I don't feel comfortable putting on. And it's almost as if Henry knew that when he asked the question.
Do you know Henry personally?
No, but he sounds a bit much.
Sounds familiar. But yeah, speaking, I don't know why I'm going from Henry to James Acaster, but I heard that you recently you chatted about doing a podcast about food. Is that something that's coming out?
It will be coming out. We don't know exactly when because we've recorded a couple of episodes, but schedules are difficult to match.
Yeah, so what's kind of obviously it's about food, but in what way do you tackle the tricky subject of food?
Course by course, that's all I'll say.
Course by course, you don't want to reveal too much.
No, don't want to reveal too much.
Yeah.
We've already interviewed two people, but we've had two really good guests already. So we're hoping probably in the new year, we just want to get loads of episodes under our belt.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah. And also, last time I spoke to you, we chatted a bit about Just Puddings, your series where James Acaster eats desserts for you.
Yes.
You're type 1 diabetic, so you can't do so yourself.
I just want to clarify something. I can eat desserts, I'll just inject insulin for them, but sometimes it's a bit of a hassle. So I just want to let everyone know that. I try and explain that during the show as well, but even then people are like, well, you can eat desserts, it's just a bit of fun, guys.
And yeah, so we chatted about that, and then I asked you, like, if you could have someone else do something for you, kind of as part of a series.
Yes.
Do you remember what you said?
Did I say that I wanted Nish Kumar to take a shit for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said you'd like him to take all of your shits for you in the future?
He takes so many that I don't think he'd notice this sort of additional load.
Is there any progress in that? Have you chatted to him?
He's taken more than ever, as far as I know. But I think I'm taking the same amount previously. Actually, no, I've been trying to eat vegan, so I've been, I've been at it more, I think. This is not a path that I was expecting to go down.
Where trying to find a tennis ball was. But yeah, so about to wrap it up here, just got to keep losing track of time. But firstly, is there anything you would like to add or get off your chest at the end of this chat? And then any shows you'd like to recommend as well?
I don't think there's anything I'd like to get off my chest. I've had a rather nice time, actually, James. I think you've put together a lovely interview and a lovely show.
Thank you.
The ball thing you're doing. Very, very good. I like the podcast very much, and this was a fun way of doing it live. So that's, it's not really getting something off my chest, is it? I've got a bone to pick with you, James. You've done a good job. Shows to recommend. If this comes out after the Fringe, it's sort of pointless, but maybe some of these shows will be on tour or whatever.
There's people here, they're not pointless, they're...
Oh, you guys! Yeah, but you guys are not on the hot shows, that's why you're here.
Good save.
I saw two shows in this very room last night. I saw Alfie Brown at 9:30, and phenomenal show. He's a brilliant comic anyway, but this show is, I think, his best one yet. And I saw Sam Campbell in here at midnight last night, which is very late, but it's one of the stupidest shows I've ever seen. That boy is a complete silly idiot, and you should go. It's so funny, just bizarre, and I laughed all the way through. It was brilliant. Who else have I seen? Rose Matafeo, incredible. There is a show called Two Hearts, which is like a musical pop parody thing but they're brilliant. They're so good. It's Joseph Moore and Laura Daniel. They're from New Zealand as well. They're doing the Underbelly at like 10 o'clock. You should definitely go and see that. Lou Sanders as well. Everything I've seen has been brilliant because I'm good at picking stuff. But I've seen so many things that I don't have time to go through them all now.
Cool, so finally I'd just like to say, walkies?
I do have to leave.
Thank you, Bailey. Thank you, Gamble, very much. That is pretty much the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to get a clipboard, see if there's any more stuff to deal with. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, thank everyone. Done that.
James, I've got to go. Bye.
Bye bye. I'll see you later. Thank you very much. Cool. So just thank you very much to the Ed and Adam and Amy, and everyone. Round of applause for them. Andy on the check at the back there. Very nice work, Andy. And yes, just genuinely very much thank you. I started this kind of podcast thing because I was a very shy person, didn't like speaking in public that much. This feels like the complete opposite of that. But yeah, so thank you very much for letting me do this. It's very much a tester thing, but I think, do you guys have a nice time? Yeah! Thank you very much. I mean, as I heard that back, that was soul fishing for applause. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was the worst. But yeah, if you get the chance, if you can maybe like tell a friend about the podcast called Chance for You, there's a ridiculous image of me with it there, where I'm not very good at Photoshop, so a bit my hands blurred out. But yeah, so this show is sort of pay where you want, and I've just realised that I don't even have like a bucket or anything to collect money. I don't know if someone else can help me out with that. But yeah, so on your way out, if you feel like paying any money to the show, that'd be much appreciated, to pay for the acts and that as well, try and get some money. But that's about it. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. It's been Chats for You. I've been James Walker. Thank you.